Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to put the finished engine into the car. I didn't do a video on the rest of the top half, you know, the heads and intake and all that stuff, because you've probably seen it a few times with the head gasket problem and all that other jazz. So yeah, we're going to get started putting it in the car. You're probably going to get a lot of elevator music for the first part of this because there's so much background noise, and hopefully this intro even works. So, well, let us get started. And you guys lucked out. You don't have to listen to the elevator music because the battery on the camera died while I was dropping the engine in. However, the engine went in so easy that you really didn't miss anything. And I'm kind of concerned because normally when the engine goes in that easy, something else is screwed up because it just never works that way. So now I guess it's time to get everything on it and hopefully fire it up pretty soon. Alright, I skipped over a lot of the engine install and put back together and all that kind of jazz because it's kind of, well, kind of boring. Anyways, so I just plugged in the last couple of wires. I just put in the last pipe, and I hadn't even put water in it yet, but it is ready to start. So I have to go inside. I'm going to get the laptop set up. Get a couple cameras set up maybe, and let's see if this thing starts and runs correctly and doesn't smoke and stuff. Alright, I gotta make a few changes on the laptop here and get my startup screen ready to go. Let's see, oil pressure is there. Throttle position needs to be calibrated. So get that one. That one, accept it. Okay, coolant. Okay, everything's there. May the force be with you. Oh, you got fingerprint in your eye there. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, well, I guess we need to start the data log, just in case. And go. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Alright, so what you guys saw just now was the very first startup since the rebuild, and I mean that's like the first startup. There was no editing, there's no nothing. What you heard me cranking on it was exactly how it happened. So needless to say, I'm really excited. It does sound considerably different, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. So just for comparison purposes, after it cools down, I'm going to go in there and do a compression check test at least on the cylinder that was dead, just to see what it is compared to how it was. It's idling pretty rich, mainly due to the fact that those injectors, I cleaned them right before I took the engine apart, which was what the whole problem was and probably why the engine got hurt in the first place. But nonetheless, so they're moving a lot more fuel than they did, and it's running like really rich. So I'm going to put some water in it and keep it cool and get it started up again and see if I can lean it out some and make it idle cleaner. Okay, we're going for the second startup now. We got some water in it and I can run it a little bit longer and all that jazz. I just wanted to make sure it was okay before I did all that. So, without further ado, let us begin. I hate it when that happens. All right, we're going to do that compression test I was talking about a minute ago. There's the gauge right there. I'm going to reach in the car and hit the button and see how good or bad that we do. That's terrible. Alright, so I'm not really convinced that the old compression gauge works right. I did check it. Can't remember if I showed it on the camera or not. I guess we'll see shortly. But anyways, I also did the quick test, which is just take some water and drop it on the header tubes after the engine's warmed up. And if the water doesn't immediately bounce off the header tubes, that cylinder's not running right. It's running cool compared to the others. Cylinders 1, 5, and 6 were cool to the water test. So now we know, I rebuilt the short blocker. I just put rings in it. And it's not the end of the world if it does, in fact, have dead cylinders because of low compression, because now we know it's not the rings. Oops. Now we know it's not the rings, and that in fact it probably should have had a valve job while I had it apart. I guess we're going to find out shortly, and I'm sure that's going to be the answer, but whatever. It is what it is. It is a beating to have to take it apart all the time. But again, such is life. We'll work through it. Alright, we'll go ahead and pull this number 1 spark plug out and get a look at it. And by get a look at it, I mean we're going to do a compression test on it and see if in fact it really is low. All right. Got the hose in place. Turn the battery on and crank the engine. Well, that's a little better. My old compression gauge was reading 60 pounds. This one's showing 130. So now that's got me moderately excited. I'm going to go through and check all of them and see what we get. Okay, so I compression tested every hole, and the good thing is that my phone beeps or dings. The good thing is that the old compression gauge is in fact toast. So I think I made that in the trash. Anyways, so all of the cylinders, and I'm looking at my trusty dry erase board over there, all of the cylinders are 130 to 135, except for one cylinder, which is 145 for some reason. So that's definitely good. I did check these cylinders, or I did check it with the old compression gauge before I tore it apart, and there was a distinct 30-pound difference between one of the cylinders that I suspected had some bad rings or whatever. So even though the numbers weren't accurate, they were showing a 30-pound difference. So that's gone, at least. So now we have to find out what is going on. I don't really know what to look for now. The only thing I can think of right now is I put old plugs in it on purpose to start it, and the reason I did that is because I knew it was going to be really rich, and I didn't want to foul out a brand new set of plugs trying to get it leaned out or whatever. So there's a possibility it's the plugs. The other possibility is it's the coils themselves, and the third possibility being the wires. So we're going to go through all that and see if we can find out what it is. Okay, so I've experimented with some stuff off camera. I changed the plugs, changed the wires, messed with the fueling a little bit, and it's kind of hard to really tell what did the best or the most change for the good, I guess is what I'm saying. So the car starts and idles perfect now, which has never done that. And I think that's largely due to the fact that there was so much trash getting passed around in the fuel system that it was constantly changing the injectors, the flow rate characteristics by way of clogging the injectors. So it's a whole lot better now. I actually had some footage earlier of how I test the headers for how hot they are by spitting water on it, and the car is so loud, and the microphone that I use on this camera is so touchy that it was really distorted. You couldn't hear anything, so we didn't get to use that yet. But I'm going to load a new tune in the car and fire it up standing outside of the car. I won't even touch the gas pedal. The car hadn't been started all day, just to show you guys how much difference it made. Huge difference. So definitely a step in the right direction. Things are looking up. Check it out. Okay guys, so as you can see, it made a huge difference in the way it starts, and I can't say that enough times. I'm really pleased with the direction it's going right now. So all we got to do now is wait for some slightly better weather and a track that's open and some new back tires. And Santa did not bring any of that. So that's the end. We have made it to a good stopping point now. I'm going to do a couple of little things to the car over the next day or two, and then the next video, I hope, will be starting on the S10 and bringing it home and getting the engine put in and all that kind of jazz. So that's it. The end of the video, guys. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good Christmas. New Year's coming up. Be safe, be responsible, and all that fun stuff. Party with your friends, and we'll see you next year. Maybe even before that. I don't know. But thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. We'll see you in the next one.